Tip number 3, study smarter. Now that you've laid the groundwork with notes and have stored a myriad of new concepts in long-term memory, there are a number of things you can do to strengthen and elaborate those concepts and your understanding of how to apply them when needed. This involves retrieval from long-term memory to short-term memory, rehearsal in short-term memory, and then updating and consolidating back into long-term memory. The key here is rehearsal, how you think about what you're learning. The brain loves solving puzzles. It's a very satisfying experience. So if you review your notes with a focus on identifying gaps in your understanding, you will stimulate deeper learning in a very natural way. Here's another little video clip about the importance of practicing memory retrieval.
One goal of learning is to get information into long-term memory so we can use it later when we need it. Long-term memory is relatively permanent. However, if we want to maintain easy access to a memory, we need to retrieve that information regularly.
Here are 5 research-based strategies for studying that are guaranteed to make your study time more productive. First, taking a break while working on a difficult problem increases the probability that you'll solve the problem and shortens the time it will take. Experts recommend working on a problem for about 45 minutes or an hour and then taking a distraction break for 5 or 10 minutes. This is a specific kind of break that is a complete distraction from studying. Check email, eat something, exercise, and always set a timer. This intellectual pause gives your brain an opportunity to consolidate newly acquired information into long-term memory and help prevent overloading short-term memory. You do have to return to what you were working on, but you're more likely to solve a problem or have an aha moment after taking a break than if you had continued working straight through. Second, when you test yourself on what you've been learning to identify gaps in your understanding, you accelerate learning. Your brain loves to fill in the gaps. Self-testing could be going through questions from the textbook, mentally reciting relevant facts or terms from memory, or asking yourself to elaborate on what you meant as you read through your notes. The goal here is to point out gaps in your understanding so your brain can work on closing them. Third, you might have been very successful with cramming so far, but that is because your short-term memory could hold enough information to pass the test you were taking in the next day or two. Cramming puts lots of information into short-term memory, but deeper understanding requires storing information in long-term memory. A better strategy to achieve deeper understanding is incremental study. Let's say you were going to spend 4 hours Sunday night cramming for a test on Monday morning. A better strategy would be to spend an hour per night on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then no studying on Sunday. Those long breaks between study periods allow your brain to consolidate the concepts you're learning and store them in long-term memory where they can be retrieved more easily. One study showed that students learned twice as much material when they studied in increments than when they studied the same amount of time the day before the test. Double the recall with no extra time and no extra effort. Fourth, many students say that procrastination is their biggest impediment to success in their classes. With a little twist, you can still procrastinate a little. As soon as you get a new assignment, write down the title of the project and think about it for 15 or so minutes, jotting down a few ideas. Then put it out of your mind for a few days until you're ready to really work on it. This begins an internal conversation about the subject in your brain that takes place in the background without you even being aware of it. By the time you've gathered resources to begin the project in earnest, you'll already have a lot of ideas sitting ready to retrieve from memory. And these ideas wouldn't exist if you hadn't spent that 15 minutes on it several days before. And fifth, everyone agrees the best way to learn something is to teach it. Even preparing to teach a topic is helpful, but ideally, you need to actually articulate your thoughts to another person and have them react to your presentation of the concepts. This engages not only your brain in finding gaps in your understanding, but it also engages another person to poke at areas that you may not even realize need more attention. The good news from this information is that you don't have to dedicate hours and hours of grueling study time to learn new material. By revisiting your notes often and quizzing yourself to reveal any gaps in your understanding, you keep your brain's automatic processes actively working behind the scenes. Use your time wisely by by choosing efficient study strategies and taking distraction breaks from time to time. And at least ask yourself how you would teach the topic to someone else. This will present you with plenty of fruitful aha moments. Thank you for watching this tutorial about learning. I hope it helps you on your educational journey. See you next time.